Two astronauts currently in space have more in common than just their career. They actually attend the same church back home. Astronauts Barry Butch Wilmore and Tracy Dyson are members of Providence Baptist Church in Texas. They are currently aboard the International Space Station awaiting their return, but Wilmore was supposed to have come home already, along with his fellow astronaut Sonny Williams. But the Boeing Starliner malfunctioned, leaving them with no way home. That Starliner was originally scheduled for an 8-day mission, but multiple spacecraft errors, including a helium leak, forced a delay on its trip home, possibly now not until February of next year. Now, although this delay comes as a shock, the congregation back home in Pasadena, Texas, has been praying and has faith both of their members will come home safely. So I would like to welcome in now pastor at Providence Baptist Church, Pastor Corey Johnson. Thank you so much for your time. First, how is your congregation supporting the astronauts that are right now in space?
Yeah, I would say by praying for them, encouraging their families as we're able. And we've been able to send a few things here and there. That's not very easy. You can't just send it by mail, but we can contact them a little bit. We can't pick up the phone and call. So we're a little ways away from each other, but we've been praying and encouraging them as we're able.
That is wonderful. And we know that astronaut Dyson mission was not over until, or it is not over until September, but Wilmore and his partner Williams, they were supposed to be back on Earth weeks ago at this point. How did your members react when that did not happen?
Yeah, I mean, we've been on the edge of our seats, I guess, even with the launch and everything. We've been at the edge of our seats watching to see, because Barry, he's been in quarantine. We went into quarantine April 14th. So we expected the launch to happen earlier. It delayed. And in some ways, we're just taking it a day at a time, just as he is, and praying for them. And right now, I mean, they're in a great place. I mean, if you watch Barry, if any time you see him, he's doing somersaults in the space station. So, I mean, we're happy for him, but you know, we'll probably be back on the edge of our seats whenever it comes time to come back home.
Yeah, I wanted to ask him, I know obviously you and the congregation are keeping the faith, but are you concerned about, Barry being able to come home safely, especially now considering it may not be until next year and it was supposed to be in June?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but one thing Barry taught me is that with space flight, I mean, there's always a risk. So we're always, and so when you watch that rocket, astronauts go all the time, but when you know the people in there, it's a little different. And so you pray a little bit more, I think. But I would say we trust the Lord. Of course, we're human, that we all, have our concerns there. But I mean, we're, trusting in the Lord. And when I talk with Barry, the times I've talked to him, he seems pretty confident. And Barry's someone he's a pillar, a rock of a man. And so if he's confident, I'm confident. There.
And Pastor, speaking of that, I mean, both Wilmore and Dyson have been very vocal about their faith and how it shapes their lives. What does it mean, to you, to your church, to have not one but two members currently in space?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, I'll say that just personally, it's when you get that phone call, when Barry called me the first time, I thought it was a scam call at first. It said U.S. government, and then I answered, and then it was Barry. And so it just to have both of them there, I mean, it's a joy for us. But, for us, I mean, they're not astronauts to us. They're family, they're friends. That's just, they have a day job that's different than most. And so, but it's exciting to get to watch. I mean, we get to tune in, and we don't, they're more celebrities than we realize. I think when we're around them, they're just Barry, Tracy. Yeah. But whenever we tune in and find and hear all their stories, like, oh, wow, they're a big deal.
They definitely are a big deal. My last question for you, Pastor. You mentioned when Barry called you, you thought it was a scam, but it really was him. Yeah. Do you know, will you have a chance to speak with him or Tracy in the future?
Yeah, hopefully so. I mean, Barry and I have talked about 4 or 5 times since he's been up there. I've had video call with him, and so it's always pretty cool to get to have that opportunity. And I'm sure there'll be more in the future here.
All right. Well, Pastor Corey Johnson, thank you so much for your time. We wish you, your congregation, and obviously the astronauts the very best. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.